Good evening. My name is Jerry Hosey, and this is discussion post number one for the American Revolution class at Liberty University. The topic today is John Hancock, Congregationalist Revolutionary from Chapter 10 of Mark Hall and Daniel Dreisbach's book, Faith in the Founders of the American Revolution. John Hancock was a fascinating individual. His religious convictions came to dominate everything he did in life. And it's easy to see why, as his father and his grandfather were both Puritan ministers in the Boston area. John probably would have gone to do that himself if not for the passing of his father when he was 7. At that point, his life changed. He was adopted by his uncle Thomas Hancock, who was a rich Boston merchant and attending the Brattle Street Church. And as I say, the rest is certainly history. Brattle Street Church was a Congregationalist church in Boston led by Samuel Cooper, attended by many leaders of the Revolutionary period, including John and Abigail Adams. But we've been reading about tensions of the differences between the old hierarchical Anglican church leaders who were more likely to support Great Britain and the new evangelical leaders who were more likely to support American independence. Samuel Cooper was certainly in the latter camp. His sermons, taught that individual interest could trump common welfare, self-interest and true virtue could coexist, as long as they spread through ideals throughout the world by being generous to others, being faithful to God, advocating for independence against tyrannical kings, things of that nature. And John Hancock was greatly influenced by this, and you can see it through his thoughts and his deeds in life. Charles Ackers denotes in his scholarly article, Religion in the American Revolution, that John Hancock was, quote, of all Bostonians, most nearly exemplified Cooper's ideal of the man of the Christian benevolence. I was looking for a way to describe Hancock, and I found a scholarly article by Susan Willeckley on religious orientation and personality, where she has a case study on John Hancock. And she describes him as an extrovert who exhibited an extrinsic consensual piety, which psychiatry goes on to state, describes personalities always adapting to the circumstances of the moment. They have determined religious convictions and morals. They seek positions in favor in order to advocate and spread their vision, so to speak. And that describes Hancock perfectly, in my opinion. He donated his own personal money to various churches in Boston to support and grow, funded much of the revolution, including guns and ammunition, believed the revolution was an act of God. That's why he helped it. Rebuilt homes destroyed by the British, bought food, things of that nature. He served in the Continental Congress, governor of Massachusetts on several occasions, many different posts where he used positions to advocate his religious ideals and beliefs, such as helping widows and orphans, passing laws to liberate the Sabbath, passed laws for religious liberty. He took any chance he could in public to profess for God, to thank God for helping America in the Revolution, for his graciousness, allowing good fortune, all up to his death. But he had his qualities in personal life as well, including, and I particularly found some private correspondence fascinating. John Cushing published a letter that Hancock wrote to his wife in 1778 from Philadelphia in the Continental Congress, asking her to pray for him, to pray to God in his continued health continues to advance in a good way, asking her to write him as she went abroad, and the first Sunday you go to meeting, so to speak, church and whatnot. He may have gone about his business and lived in lavish luxury. He was a rich Boston merchant after all, but he still helped the less fortunate. There are some historians, including Charles Ackers, who we mentioned before, that thought that Hancock had other motives for helping in the Revolution that weren't religious. They were mainly economic. He actually, Ackers actually states that characterizes Hancock as the preeminent victim of the British attack on American commerce. But I think those arguments missed the mark. If you look back at John Hancock throughout his whole life, you see he's helping in these ways before, during, and after the Revolution. His motives aren't just economic. They're formed because of his religious beliefs, formed from the Congregational teaching of Samuel Cooper. And this continues after the Revolution as well. And, Cooper attended inaugurations of Hancock as governor of Massachusetts. They both pushed for the Constitution to be adopted in 1787 on about providential grounds. They would continue that work afterwards. And a final example that I'll leave you with here, which just exhibits John Hancock perfectly. Hancock even helped those who were against him, even politically. He would constantly battle Samuel Adams for governor of Massachusetts in the 1780s and 90s. He had John Hancock, that is, had a rivalry with the Adams, I would say. William Pencock does an excellent job describing this in the scholarly article on Samuel Adams' Shaped Rebellion in 1989. We discusses how Adams would lose to Hancock for governor multiple occasions. He would be removed by Hancock as Secretary of State of Massachusetts. But according to Hall and Dreisbach, Hancock helped even Samuel Adams by giving him money because he needed help. Because that's the kind of guy John Hancock was. Because above all, he was a Congregationalist revolutionary, being a steward for God. And with that, I would thank you for indulging me and listening to my discussion post about John Hancock. I'm going to get back to our readings now. Have a good night.